Alright, welcome guys. Back in Chinatown. But I'm not going to stay long right here in Chinatown. I didn't come here today to do any exploring here. But I am still in front of the Chinese gate, or the entrance into Chinatown. And this was a symbol showing like the strength of China and Thailand, their relations. And it was built in 1999. And it was in honor of like King Rama IX. And it opens up to right behind me, which is Yarrawit Road. And that is kind of the main road through Chinatown. And that was built in 1892. King Rama V ordered that to be constructed. And it's what opened up most of Chinatown as we know it today. But I'm not going to stay here. I'm going down into Talat Noi. And I want to go see the oldest house in all of Bangkok. So hopefully we can find it. So let me show you around. Alright, so here's a little better look at the Chinatown Gate. It's pretty cool. They have a bunch of little detail work, and it kind of looks like a pagoda or an entrance into one of the Chinese temples. And then, like I said, this is Yarrawit Road. It runs right into there, just past the Happy Chinese New Year. And so if you're at the gate, there's a bunch to see. There's a little foundation shrine over here. There's the golden Buddha, the Wat Kalawa. And I did a video on this one a little while back, and this has a solid gold Buddha that's worth millions and millions of dollars. That's 5.5 tons of solid gold. Okay, so right here is Songkan Shrine. And it was built around 1871. And it's kind of interesting because Talat Noi is famous for like basically junkyards, scrap metal, used parts for cars and everything like that. But this is a shrine dedicated to the guy that had the first junkyard, or the first scrapyard. And it was built under the rule of King Chulalongkorn in 1871. And so I have some people here inside the shrine. They're relaxing. So people can come in here and make some blessings. Alright, let's keep on going. Okay, so this is a shrine dedicated to this foundation here that is set up to help poor people. The main image of it is the Goddess of Mercy from China. So this is the Tian Fa Foundation. And the interesting thing about this is the main Goddess of Mercy. And this is made of teak wood. And it's supposedly like 700 or 800 years old, and it was brought from China in 1958. And they built this little shrine for it. So this is like what one of the roads looks like. You see they got all the axles for these little Toyotas, and then you see the two-story houses made out of the wood. And you have the smell of motor oil from where they get all these spare parts. Some more axles and differentials and all of that. Got a guy right here in the alley tearing something apart. And then you can see some old clutch plates. Some more inside there. They got just clutch plates every which direction. And right here in the middle of the alley is yet another little Chinese temple. Some narrow little soys. And some more rear end pieces. More scrap. Let's go down that little alley and see what it looks like. Guys in here tearing all this apart. Yeah, so you got guys tearing apart transmissions, You got cylinder heads everywhere. Looks like here he's got a Sawzall or something. Or impact. Yeah, I don't think this road here is on any tourist maps that I've seen. It looks like a dead ends. Got drive shafts. All kinds of parts. This is the area that keeps all those old farm trucks on the road. Some of the street art on the wall here. So this is actually a pretty cool part of Bangkok. So you see this and this old car that's just about a pile of rust now, but it's still hanging tough. It's been photographed a million times. I've seen on all over the internet. And then this old tree. So this is like a community meeting area. So people come down here and they meet up and eat dinner and everything. But what I like about this is these little tiny narrow roads and alleys. So this little alley goes back into somebody's house. And then have some more little narrow alleys. Motorcycles and all of that. So the river is really close also. Let's see if we can get a peek of the river right quick. Now, that old house is down here somewhere. I think I'm pretty close to it. What do we have here? Looks like a... This might be the old house, I don't know. It looks like it. It says it's open. So Heng Tai, yeah, this is the old house. And the swimming pool. And we have a little restaurant and stuff. Some people up on the second story doing something. Yeah, so from what I read, this is the oldest house in Bangkok. A few people. And some wooden rails. And what do they got going on here? Looks like a coffee shop part. And so you can come in and get a amaretto for just a little bit less than $3. And we have some places around to sit. Yeah, this is pretty neat here. So you can see the roof tiles are in need of repair. It's also got some issues with the structural integrity of this building. And I guess a few years back, the owners of this place were offered 2 billion Thai baht for this building from a Chinese investor type person, and they turned them down. So I know 2 billion baht is some real money, but they have some plans for it, so we'll see what the future holds. It looks like down here they're trying to shore up the foundation. You can see some low rooms. They got some stuff stored in there. They had some sand and they're doing some things to the foundation. And here's the outer wall of the mansion. So you can kind of see how it's separating from the concrete wall. But it is 230 years old, so hopefully they do invest some serious money and fix this up. This will be really nice. And you can see where they painted in the wet plaster when they first built this. And then on the outside the same. Yeah, that's a pretty cool old building. Alright, so now I guess we can go down to it. So take a look at this. So you have this tree that's just growing right on top of this roof. and then the roots go right down over the wall. That's what you get in the tropics. And it's just right, that little tree is on top of the fence. And you can see the house. The house is right there. So what they got going on here, one of these little alleys, they have all these pictures and some of the street art for the Bangkok Design Week. And what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to show that these are just kind of these pictures is like a story. Like it's, what they want to do is, it's like the old uncle or the old grandpa telling you a story of the area. And that's kind of what the theme of these pictures are on this wall. So this guy's got about every leaf spring and brake drum you could imagine, with some rear ends and all of that for good measure. Right next to another one that has engines and disc brakes. So he's got auto parts down here, and then he lives right back up there on the top. A narrow little soi that just goes back into whatever, probably more houses, more scrap yards, everything else. And this narrow little road with some shrines built into the wall, an old brick and stucco house. And then you can see the second story here has the wooden shutters. Yeah, this is really cool. More of the wooden shutters on the other building here. So they're saying this is a reborn showroom furniture. Not sure if it's open or not. Kind of looks like it is, maybe. Another one of the little narrow roads and some of the street art. My faith will never fade. All right, so here we are right on the river. So here you have the Marine Department and a little shrine right next to that. And a houseboat floating right there. A Song Tao. And there's the banyan tree residence. And then if you can see that pagoda right across the way, right over there, that's right next to that Luang 1919 that I did a video a while back on. And then here's the Chao Phraya. And then looking back into Talat Noi right here. So Talat Noi goes from the river right over to near the Chinese gate that we started this out at. All right, this is nice. Lots of trash floating around on the Chao Phraya, of course, but other than that, I just love coming down to the river. I mean, being from Colorado and seeing this much water, this is amazing. Makes the Colorado River look like a little tiny creek. Part of the shrine. Right here next to the river. So the Wonggung Shrine. Now there's a little data plate that says that they bought this piece of land where this little shrine is sitting on for 2,500 baht. And I guess they hold a ceremony here every year on the grounds of this little shrine. It used to be every 3 years, but it's been really popular, so people come here every year to do some ceremony stuff. Okay, so every year they have a ceremony inside this temple and around to Kaishen. It's a Chinese god of wealth and prosperity. And so the merchants come here and they do the little ceremony, and it's at the end of October. So it's the end of the 9th lunar month, which I guess is October. Just kind of funny that they bought the land for 2,400 baht, which is less than $300. So things have appreciated in value since this land was bought over 100 years ago. A couple of the Thai Navy boats going upriver, and a barge coming right back down. And this is the view of the shrine from up on top of the little tower they have. And at the top of the little tower is a little Chinese style Buddha. They have all the normal stuff. You can burn the joe sticks and rattle the sticks to get your fortune, light the candle, all of that. So if you come here, this is to come and get a good blessing for wealth and fortune. So all of Talat Noi has all these little junkyards, and it's also just honeycombed with these little narrow alleys with these old wooden houses. Let's see, these are how the people live. So they just park their little motorcycles in here. And then the second story has some of the wooden shutters. And just tons and tons of little houses like this. There's some cats here lounging about. Okay, so what the Thais do is they wrap up these old trees because they believe there's a spirit in them. And this is right down here. And if you look all around the old tree, they just have these transmissions and cylinder heads and carburetors and everything. I mean, this just is a scrapyard. And I'm sure there's a guy that knows every single little piece that he has. I mean, this is his livelihood. So if somebody needs a transmission for a 82 Toyota, he knows exactly where it's laying. And then you can look inside, we can't see very well here, but he has tires and everything else in all of these little rooms. This is a little tiny door. I mean, this is but you can go in there and you get their house. It's part of the local community here. This house looks pretty new. There's some nice brickwork and stuff. And they have a map of Talat Noi that they painted on the wall. Holy Rosary Church. All the way from Trang Kung Road to the river. And I'm here. So if you're ever here, you know exactly where you are. You're part of the alley. I have the corrugated tin and some old bricks that were at one time stuccoed for a fence, or the outside wall of a house or something. And the old door's been bricked off, so you can't get in there. And inside there is some more of the junk. I can see some gears and all of that. Yeah, this is a great little area to just come and just wander around. It's kind of off the touristy path, but you get to see a part of Bangkok that you don't normally get to see. In there just looks like some of his storage bins and all of that. So right here on the Chao Phraya, they have a little temple. And then check out this house. This is really cool. They got it built out on stilts into the river itself, and it looks like it's older than time. And the corrugated wood or corrugated metal is all rusting away. But they're just right here on the river. I mean, this is the view from their house. You have a little pier, and they can see all the boats and everything going along the river. Okay, so right here next to the river is the Gong Shrine. Check out the work they've done up on top. Now, unfortunately, they've locked the door, so it's closed. You can still see what they've done up the top of the shrine. And it's just jammed right here next to the river in between all these buildings. And there's nothing I can see in English, so I can't really tell you much more about it. But it's, yeah, they just have it just jammed in here amongst all these buildings right on the edge of the river. Yeah, this is a nice little temple. Alright, so they have a statue right here. This is like the Marine Department building. Pretty cool looking building. And it's Captain John Bush that was hired to be the harbor master and was kind of in charge of the boats here on the river, I guess. They got a little monument to him. And then part of the building. Looks like we can go up on the second story. And then they have a banyan tree. And then the building, it's kind of like a European style. I guess maybe like a Baroque style architecture. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not exactly sure. It's different than what you normally see in Thailand for sure. And they have a little shrine. I'm not sure why, but all the statues are headless. They all don't have a head. That's really strange. And the grounds over here. A wall. And the marine department. Okay, so one more look at the river here. There's the Chao Phraya. And here's the marine department. And they have a little thing here that has a shrine up on the second floor. But it's locked up, so I can't look in there. But you can see through the glass. It says it's a Lokutara Dharma Prachana. I know my translation is terrible. But more of the marine department. And then right over here, this is looking into Talat Noi. So that's the area that we just explored all through those buildings. Like I said, there's cavernous little walkways, so you can just kind of snake around through them and see whatever you want to see. All right, guys, so that finishes up our little tour of Talat Noi, our little walking tour. Pretty fun. You get to see all the little scrap yards, and get to see that old house and see a lot of the street art and stuff like that that's along the way, along with some of the temples, and get to see how these guys are living down here. Remember, they're you know, all those guys that are tearing apart those engines and transmissions or whatever, that's how they make their living. They've been doing it for years and years and years. So, you know, they're kind of the backbone of what keeps these old trucks and old cars and stuff like that going. So it's pretty fun to see. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you click like. That really helps me. And subscribe. That's the most help I need right there. And share it with your friends, share it on Facebook, whatever. I need the subscribers. It's what helps keep me going. And anyway, guys, if you want to see something, or if you like something in the video, leave me a comment down below. If you want to see something different, let me know also, and I'll do my best to make a video of it. And as always, guys, remember, life is a journey, so enjoy.